Hello all the Inderes TV viewers and listeners. Nixu published its Q3 results today, and in here with me in the studio is Nixu's CEO Teemu Salmi. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Good to be here.
Yeah. Should we first talk briefly about your Q3 results? How was Nixu's quarter?
Yes, thanks for asking. It was great. We had a great momentum right now, and we've been talking earlier this year about that we see the business building up, and we could actually see the turnaround coming somewhere in the middle of Q2, right? And we have seen the business now just accelerating, and in quarter 3 we had a record quarter where we delivered sales of 14.4 million euro, which is an increase of 29% year over year from quarter 3 last year. So that's great. And also on a profitability side, we are delivering now an EBITDA of 1.1 million for the quarter, which is 8% of EBITDA. It's a great improvement. We are not happy there, but definitely moving in the right direction, I would say. And finally, probably looking at the quarter as well would be the orders booked, where we see a growth of over 100% in orders booked year over year. And it also shows that the business momentum definitely is there, and that the cybersecurity is becoming more and more topical in all segments, I would say. So yeah, it was a good quarter, quarter 3.
Yeah, I was also impressed by the numbers, and we had some earlier about that, because you gave already on Tuesday the positive profit warning and said that you will do like 60 million revenues this year, and the EBITDA will be around 4 to 6%.
Correct.
So that was like a big improvement compared to the first half of year. So what are all the positive drivers behind this development?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think it is, like I said, the business momentum and the focus on cybersecurity in general on all levels, all the way from, we just have to look at the geopolitical situation, and that is driving more investments and uncertainty, right? What will happen now? So investments in national security, public sector, private sector, we see the growth coming, I would say, in all sectors, and also all our markets. I would say all our markets are actually growing, which is also positive news. But then if we look at the profitability, we have talked about the managed services business and that we are in a turnaround there, and now we see the turnaround starting to pay off. We have managed services scalable business, of course, right? And we see a growth of 30% now year over year on our managed services business. And at the same time, we have been streamlining our portfolio and our offering, and also then streamlining our organization according to the offering. So we've been able to take some cost out and be clear about what and how we're going to sell our managed services offerings. So all of that had now contributed that managed services turnaround is actually a bit ahead of our planned schedule there, right? So that's good. That's helping. And then in our other business area, which we call expert services, all the services there are also growing, especially I would say our advisory service. And advisory services are basically the services where we help our customers to look into their maturity when it comes to cybersecurity, and also helping them to create a strategy and a roadmap for what they need to do to become even more resilient and stronger in their cyber defense. And in many cases, once we've done the advisory part, we also get to help the customers and clients to actually implement our suggestions. So it's a good step in to build further business at the end.
Yeah. Let's then talk a little bit more about the managed service, because they've been on turnaround, and on the first half of the year the business was still like making negative profitability. So could you still walk us through what have you done there that the development is now getting more and more better?
Well, it is basically what I said, that we started 1 year ago when we got the new managed services head, Jan Mikkos, employed to Nixu. We started to look at what is the offering, how does the offering look like, and how can we streamline the offering and make sure that we also are offering the right technology and the right service component as a wrapper around the technology. So we streamlined our portfolio. Then also, of course, connected to that, you also have to streamline your organization. Make sure that you have the right capabilities and right competencies to deliver on the portfolio. And there we saw that we had to do a bit of a change of people in the organization. So, and actually slimmed the organization as well. So we have actually become smaller as a managed services organization, i.e. having less cost. And at the same time, managed services is scalable business, right? So we can scale it very nicely on the competence base that we have. So the accelerated growth has of course helped us to gain the profitability that we need in the business. So a new portfolio, a slimmed organization, and a growth on a scalable business model, which is going a bit faster than we thought from the beginning, that is helping us to get where we are today.
Sounds good. Then you mentioned on the report that the employee turnover level was still higher than that you would hope.
Yes.
So how is the situation improving there, and how was the recruitment market overall on the Q3?
Well, I think in general I would say that there's still a shortage of cybersecurity competence on the market, right? And it's not only hitting us; it's hitting everyone working with cybersecurity, right? So our attrition, unfortunately, keeps on to be on a high level, and we were just south of 8% when it comes to the attrition rate in Q3 isolated. I would, however, like to say that we are growing net still headcount in Q3, which means that we are able to recruit more than we are losing. But of course, we have to make sure that we work with, talent retainment programs and also, attracting talent from the market. Continue to be vigilant there. Then in that number, I mean, we have still an issue to be able to, qualify what is wanted attrition and what is non-wanted attrition, because in all attrition numbers there are some wanted attrition as well. If you, for instance, connect it to, like I just talked about, managed services, when you're rebuilding your capabilities and competencies, unfortunately there are sometimes an wanted attrition as well in order to get to where you want to go.
Yeah. Let's then talk about your outlook now. Of course, after positive profit warning, the short-term outlook looks pretty good, or excellent actually. But still, there is if you look at the next year, there's still like economic uncertainty, the macroeconomic worsening all the time. So, do you see like on your customer base that some customers are a little bit cautious about their investments, or is it like everybody is still, because of this geopolitical situation, like increasing their cybersecurity investments, or how's the demand situation at the moment?
Well, I mean, in general, I think, and I've said this before, maybe I have to eat this up one day, I don't know, but I'll say it again, I strongly believe that the cyber security market is non-cyclical, right? So I think that one of the last things I think our customers would stop investing in is cyber defense and cybersecurity. It's still extremely topical and relevant, right? I think there are many other things that they would take away before when it comes to IT investments than the cybersecurity part, right? But however, we don't have the answer. We don't know what's going to happen macroeconomically. I mean, we see inflation rates skyrocketing right now. So of course, that's why we're also guiding now only this full year. And in parallel with that, we are now driving our updated strategy, which I have talked about before, and that is going according to plan. And in Q1, we will come out then with our ambitions for 2025, our next 3-year plan, that will be more detailed then, containing portfolio, containing market, and also being more specific about our growth and profitability ambitions, so to say, right? But for now, yes, looks good. Our book-to-bill is over 100%. Our order book is growing more than 100% year over year. So in the short term, it looks very nice. And the discussions I've had with the clients I meet, they still see this as a very topical area. So no kind of imminent, at least, discussions about cutting down. I have not heard.
Thank you, Teemu, so much for this interview. And it's really great to see that Nixu now, after couple of rough years, turning around pretty nicely.
Thank you, Atte. Thanks so much.